Hello, this is Irani. Today let us read about Standard 10 Biology, Lesson 7, that is Chemical Coordination in Plants, Continuation, Unit 2. Now in the last lesson we read about the coordination, and this video let us study about the function of each hormone. The first hormone is auxins. It was first isolated by F. W. Wendt and first discovered by Charles Darwin. These are found naturally and can be synthesized artificially. Some examples are the natural auxins, that is indole 3 acetic acid IAA, indole butyric acid IBA. The synthetic auxins, they are 2,4-dichlorophenoacetic and NAA, naphthalene acetic acid. And where are these found? This location? They are generally produced by the apices of the growing stems and roots. They are also found in the seed embryo and young leaves. What are the functions? It helps to stimulate the elongation of the cells. It helps to initiate the rooting in stem cuttings, promotes flowering, prevents fruit and leaf drop at early stages. It promotes the shedding of old, mature leaves and fruits, induces parthenocarpy, controls the cell xylem differentiation, helps in cell division, and delays the ripening of fruits. Now here is a diagram. In this diagram A, you can see the apical dominance and the auxin. The work of the auxin is apical bud, axillary bud and the young axillary bud. In this B, the axillary bud is intact or the apical bud is intact. Removal of the apical bud and loss of dominance. And in C, the auxin applied over the cut end inhibits the lateral bud growth as called as apical dominance. The next hormone is gibberellins. It was first discovered by E. Kurosawa, which is acidic in nature, and these are denoted as GA1, GA2, GA3 and so on. GA3, which is called as a gibberellic acid, it was one of the first gibberellins which was discovered. And where can we find these gibberellins? We can find them in the meristems of apical buds and roots, in the young leaves and embryo. Let's learn about the functions. These stimulate the stem elongation and cause an increase in length of axis, causes the fruits like apple to elongate and improves its shape, can lead to development of the seedless fruits, can delay senescence in leaves and citrus fruits. It can end seed dormancy in plants. It speeds up the malting process in brewing industry and leads to early seed production. Let's learn about the next hormone, that is cytokinins, which was first discovered by Jöns van Overbeek. And we can find this in the rapid cell division occurs, that is the root apices of the shoot buds and young fruits. And the functions are, it stimulates the cell division and initiates the shoot elongation. It promotes the growth of lateral buds, helps to produce new leaves, and it enhances the stomatal opening, promotes the synthesis of chlorophyll, stimulates the shoot initiation, the bud formation and delays leaf senescence. There is a diagram how cytokinins is helpful in the plants. Ethylene was first discovered by Cousins in 1910. The volatile substance was identified as elethin, which is a gaseous hormone. It is synthesized in large amounts by decaying tissues and ripening the fruits. And some of the functions are, it causes horizontal growth of seedlings, promotes senescence and abscissions of plant organs, leads to fruit ripening, breaks the seed and bud dormancy, initiates a flowering in mangoes, promotes the root growth and root hair formation. You can see the diagram here, the fruit ripening, where the ethylene is used as a gaseous hormone for the ripening of the fruits. Here the anthocyanin, which is less pectin, aromatic, and the ethylene which is used. Abscisic acid, ABA, it's mostly found near the leaves, stems and unripe fruits. It acts as a general plant growth inhibitor. It makes the plants tolerant to various kinds of stress, so it's called as even the stress hormone. It inhibits the seed germination. It stimulates the closing of stomata in plants under water stress, inhibits the shoot growth, plays an important role in seed development, maturation and dormancy. Now let us learn about some trophic movements, that is a movement in plants. Now what is trophic movements? The movement of a plant part in the direction of a stimulus is called as tropism or trophic movements. These are of the following types. One is geotropism. It is a movement of the plant parts in response to the gravitational force. If the plant part moves in the direction of gravity, it is called as positive geotropism. If the plant part moves opposite to the direction of gravity, it's called as negative geotropism. Now here is a diagram where you can see the trophic responses can be positive and negative. If the growth is towards a stimulus, we call it as positive. If the growth is away from the stimulus, we call it as negative growth trophic response. This is tropism. Now the next tropism is phototropism. The movement of plant parts in the direction of the light source is called as phototropism. When a plant gets unidirectional light, it responds by bending towards the source of light, because of which we also call it as curvature movement. The next tropism is thigmotropism. It's a movement produced in response to touch with an object. It is seen in tendrils that helps the weak stems to climb. Thermotropism is a movement that occurs in the plants in response to temperature. You can see the diagram of phototropism where it's bent towards the light. Hydrotropism, when the plant shows movement in response to water, we call it as hydrotropism. Chemotropism, the movement in plants in response to chemical stimuli are called as chemotropism. For example, the pollen tube moves through the style and reaches the ovules in the ovary under the influence of chemicals secreted by them. And when the fertilization takes place, that is by chemotropism. Nastic movements, like trophic movements, these movements also take place in response to an external stimulus. But here, the response is not directional. Like example, opening and closing of flowers, the sleeping movements, the turgor movements. Now this is a diagram of chemotropism where the pollen grain enters through the pollen tube to reach the ovule where the fertilization takes place, and with the help of certain hormones, which is called as chemotropism. There is a diagram of nastic movement. The nastic movement, this is Mimosa pudica. You can see by touch it closes, the leaves closes and again it gets up. Now there is a difference between trophic movement and nastic movement. It's a movement of curvature towards the direction of stimuli. This is the response to the plants without any directional movement of growth. This is exhibited of all parts. This do not show to all the parts. Trophic movement, the movement response is slow. In nastic movement, the movement response is fast. There is also the differences. Now this is thermotropism, which is by hot temperature and cold temperature. With this we end the video, and in the next video we will read about the experiments on chemical coordination. Thank you.